Bum 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 bum. It's another glorious morning at Lalande. The fountain is on. The weather is scorchingly hot, and here we have Kirsty and Pavlina starting to harvest the lavender from this year. Oh, what a day to be alive at the chateau.
Good morning, all. Did you notice anything different? Because I think Maria makes a pretty convincing Steph. But I'm obviously not in France at the moment. I am in South Africa with Mummy, and we're going to visit Percy every day in the hospital. So all of the Lalanders have been sending me little video updates of what's going on there so that I can share them with all of you. This is the view I'm actually looking at in South Africa. No lavender, no courtyard, no chateau, but a bit of a palm tree in the background, so I'm feeling quite exotic this morning. And whilst I get ready to go and see Percy, I am going to leave you with Pavlina's footage of harvesting the lavender this year.
Okay, we always seem to pick the hottest day of the year to do this. Yay! It looks really nice. It's almost dry, and Emery turned on the fountain so we would have some fresh air coming. We'll get really drunk on that, or really high, lavender high.
Today is actually our first day of the music workshop, which we're all preparing for. Now the pianos have been tuned, and I'm going to go outside and see how the others are getting along with their prep. Well, hello! What a beautiful sight! How are you on this fine, fine morning? I am the chatelaine for the next 3 minutes. Talk to me, Kirsty. How's it going?
So get a zoom in of the sweaty face. It's
Absolutely.
great, thank you.
It matches the dewiness of the water running down from the fountain.
Yeah.
Let me just pan and get a nice B-roll shot. Kathleen, hello. Do you feel like you're in Provence?
Yes, I do.
Wonderful.
I'm loving
Smells actually, yeah.
Isn't it beautiful? Grain by grain. Oh, darling.
Yeah, that's the crop that we will use, hopefully soon. Otherwise we'll dry it and make more lavender bags.
The species of lavender, we need to pick some cuttings to fill in the gaps in between.
Yeah.
The ones on the driveway side don't perform as well as the plants in the back. Some of these bushes though, they're huge. They're like 18 inches across now, so I'm sure we can take some of them.
I think it looks really neat now, compared to that side, which is more wild and unruly now.
I don't know, it's just, to start with, it looks so stark and structural. I like this.
Such a nice view.
Last bit to do, let's do this.
This looks so good. This is it. The moment we were waiting for to go and have some cold water with ice.
The last pile.
Yay!
Cool.
I just want to hug it. Maybe just sleep in it.
Let's go get a drink.
Okay. Here we go. The chateau will smell of lavender for like 2 weeks now.
Great stuff.
Last year we were drying the lavender outside all the time, putting it in here in the second courtyard because it's so hot and so sunny. But I guess this year we'll have to think of something else. The weather forecast tells us that it's going to rain tomorrow. So it's going to be buckets of lavender and crates of lavender and vases of lavender everywhere. So you can dry without getting moisture in again and without going moldy. It's so nice already. But if we need to use it in the little lavender bags, as we did last year, it needs to go completely dry.
I'm afraid it's not such a happy morning update from South Africa today. I'm supposed to be flying back to France tomorrow morning. Come in, Mummy. Is it time for us to go?
No, we've got a few minutes.
Okay, ça va?
We know nothing.
No news still. Last night, just before going to bed, we found out that Percy is going into theatre this morning because of a complication. So obviously we're all very worried. It's quite a minor operation, but any setback at the moment just feels enormous. So we're going to go and see how he is. I spent the whole night trying to change my flight to stay longer, but because I checked in before, and I can't uncheck in, and Qatar Airlines are trying to uncheck in for me at their end, but I've been contacting pretty much every 2 or 3 hours throughout the night, and that hasn't happened yet. So they're still working on it, and if they can uncheck me in, they'll be able to change my flight. So that's what's happening here. Well, we're going to go now and see if hopefully Percy's back and we can see how he is. We're just arriving at the hospital now. I'll let you all know how it goes. We got to the hospital. Percy hadn't gone into theatre yet. Actually, he'd been pushed down the list, and that's because he has tuberculosis. He had to be last on the list, which we totally understand, though. Would have been nice if it could have happened last night. Anyway, he's just been wheeled into theatre. We walked with him, and now we've come downstairs to the hospital cafe, where we are going to force ourselves to have a lunch and wait for him to come out of theatre. You look beautiful for Percy, Mummy. Mummy's been making a massive effort every morning to make Percy happy and cheer him up.
Yes, because there have times where really he does need cheering.
Yeah.
And he can't be bothered with the outside world. He's internalizing everything. So
He's just concentrating on getting better. Yeah.
he's so totally worn out. And so, but anyway, it does me good to think that perhaps he notices.
Oh, I'm sure he notices, Mama. And the great news is that Qatar Airways did manage to cancel my check-in. They have managed to change my booking, so I'm staying a few more days, which is just the best news.
I am so delighted. I didn't want you to change your schedule because life has got to go on, but I am absolutely delighted.
No, we should all be together here.
Yes, yes.
Our light snack has definitely grown. I might borrow your chips. I think there's a tax on the chips.
Do.
We're just walking back from the hospital with a lot of relief in our hearts, because although Percy is absolutely exhausted, he's mainly in and out of sleep. His sleep is very, very peaceful, and we were told that the procedure went well, and we can see that he is already looking much, much better than he did before he went in for it. So if he could just sleep well and get a good rest, that's going to help him to heal. Every time we walk to or from the hospital, you're there to greet us, aren't you? And your friend? Where's your friend? Hello. Every day, 6 times a day. Though I've got the strong impression that if they got out, they'd probably lick us to death.
Yes, you would.
Mummy and I have come out to sit on the terrace and have a cup of tea after what's been a roller coaster of a day, but we're just so relieved that the procedure went well and Percy seems to be feeling a lot brighter. But the reason I've come out here now is that, as you know, I occasionally do sponsorships in my videos, and I film them with Philip, and I wasn't going to do any whilst I was here with Mummy. Philip isn't here either. But actually, Mummy and I have been talking about it, and there is one that we would really like to do today that we feel very strongly about, and that is for BetterHelp. BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easy, and that is something that I've been thinking about a lot recently. My mother and I are the sort of people who just soldier on, stiff upper lip. Neither of us have ever spoken to a therapist, and I think that is something that we need to fix, because seeing Percy ill has brought back a lot of reminders of my father's illness to us, and it's triggering a lot within both of us. And it's hard for us to just stay in the moment and deal with this problem without a lot of bad memories coming back and a lot of issues that we haven't fully dealt with over the years. And my mother is very strong and doesn't like to admit it, but I know it's been affecting you as much as it has me, hasn't it, Mummy?
It has.
I never thought it would be possible for me to find a therapist living in the middle of France and really wanting to speak to somebody in my first language, in English. But BetterHelp can solve that problem because it's online, it's remote, and by answering just a few simple questions, BetterHelp can match you to a credentialed therapist within as little as a few days. So whether you have a clinical mental health issue like depression, or you're just somebody trying to get help with daily struggles, then if you'd like to try BetterHelp for yourself, there is a link in my description below. It's betterhelp.com/Chateau Diaries. And by clicking that link, you'll get 10% off your first month with BetterHelp. And because finding a therapist is a little bit like dating, you have to find the right match. If the first therapist isn't working for you, you can change at no extra cost. And now let's leave South Africa for a bit and join Murray on holiday in France. Oh, and I've just noticed the billiard table's in the background, and look, it is clear. I have finished scanning in all of my accounts, so I've been doing well whilst I've been here in South Africa. In between hospital visits, I've been getting on with lots and lots of admin.
Here's a little update from Port de Diaries, which is on the south coast of France. It's beautiful. Unfortunately, I had to leave the chateau for the musical workshop. I was kicked out. So here I am, sunbathing, swimming in the ocean, and eating amazing food. And I have this view. Beautiful. It's so warm. It's going to be 36 degrees today. Yeah, it all worked out pretty good.
Well, it's all right for some, but here the fun doesn't end in South Africa. I'm doing my new exercises for my hip, which involves this green plastic band. And soon we'll be going back to see Percy for the next visit, though I suspect we'll find him still fast asleep, but that's fine, as long as he's resting. Really good news, because I can hear Mummy chatting on the phone, and I just realised it's Percy that's phoned her, and that's the first time since he's been admitted to hospital that he's felt strong enough to make a phone call. I can hear how happy she is. This is amazing. That feels like a real turning point. He phoned! I heard you!
He just called me on the telephone.
I can believe it! And you could hear his voice okay?
I did. And I said, I see that you reported your 7 out of 10, and I'm delighted to hear it.
Oh, this is the new system of Percy telling his sons what he is on a scale of 0 to 10.
Yes. Andre asked him this morning, on our scale, how do you feel?
Good, a 7 is good.
Yes, 7.
Oh, so happy to hear him phone you.
I can't believe he actually called me on the telephone.
It's a very good sign.
And not a message. You know.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Thank you.
Good morning, guys. Why are you out? I wonder. Why are you out? You know where you're supposed to be, right? Okay, let's go. I have food. Yeah, you know where you're supposed to be. Come on. And I mean, we can share, right? Look at them. At first they just leave it and they don't really touch them. But then, in the end of the day, there will be nothing left. But at first they're like salad again. We're French chicken, we want croissant. It's good for you. Yeah, lots of vitamins, homegrown tomatoes. Those two like the yellow ones. Okay, I'll have to remember. And we're having a lot of apples this year. You can see there are still some on the trees. Last year we had really small ones, but they were really good in pies. And this year, thankfully, we're getting huge ones. And the last task of the day is getting some carrots for Maria. And because it's a bed of sorted carrots, I have no idea. Every time I pull something out, I have no idea which color or shape it would be. So it's always fun. And this is, I guess, the normal carrot, but it grew some legs. It looks more like a lobster. Let's call it lobster. Or this one. Oh, this is tiny. This one looks like a chicken. What about this one? It looks red, but let's see. Oh yeah, it is. It is a red carrot. Fun. I see a really huge one, which looks can be deceiving. It might still be a small, short carrot if I pull it out. It's a yellow one. Yay. And I guess this is the biggest one I got today. Hopefully that's enough for today and for the meal. And it's the carrot top pesto will be made from the tops of that, so we won't waste anything. Okay guys, I'm bringing you more stuff.
Excellent.
And that's
What
your
do you-
favorite ones, apples and carrots.
Gigantic carrots.
Yeah, we have some big ones.
Okay.
And I'm sorry I brought you the round
Oh
ones
God, not
too, but
again.
Not
Not
a
again.
lot. It's like 3, I
You're-
promise. When you see the tops, you can't really tell which ones are which.
Yeah,
It's
but
just a mix.
okay. Look, and we'll have to do what we have to do. But yeah, they're a lot harder to peel. What is that?
This is,
What happened to this guy?
I don't know. It just
Interesting.
grew like that.
Okay.
It looks like a mole. right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Okay, excellent. Finally, apples which are not grape size.
Yes, they're finally big and nice, and
Yeah.
I can help you peel.
Also-
Somebody's already also tasting them,
Okay. So someone's helping us with the herbs.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
but look at that.
Yeah.
That's good.
From the garden.
Yay!
Yay.
You can't imagine how much good it does me to see the chickens and the garden and everyone at Lalande. Even just hearing Maria's voice in the background makes me really happy, and thinking of the delicious food there. Here, I'm about to have a cup of tea and we're going off to see Percy, and I hope he'll be feeling much brighter today.
Just another day at the chateau. The music students have decided to really embrace chateau life. Really embrace chateau life. I'm not sure what is happening, but I'm very, very into it. Who needs a Versailles ball when you can just bring some French conservatoire students and they create this magical environment for you? Oh, wow. Yes. Work it, girl.
We're back from the hospital and I'm feeling very uplifted because Percy is looking stronger every single time we visit him. So it seems that the procedure he had worked well. Fingers crossed. There's so many ups and downs in this, but I hope he's on the road to recovery now. But now let's go back to Lalande because, as you know, there's been a music workshop going on there and I wasn't needed for it, which is why I could get away this week to be with Mummy at this time. But last night was a big concert that all of the students did. I have a little bit of footage of that for you.
Where's the commentary?
This is not the silent camera.
Silent cam.
Je voudrais aussi saluer la présence de Natalia, qui régit le château, et de Maria, et de celle qui l'aide à faire la cuisine. On a été accueillis merveilleusement, comme chaque année. C'est vraiment un cadre de travail sublime.
Ich hab geschlagen meinen Geier tot, Mutter, Mutter, ich hab geschlagen meinen Geier tot, und das geht mir nah. So leicht gespielt ist Rosenwein, so wunderschön, so wunderschön, wie Schlumpelwein. Puisque l'aube grandit, puisque voici la rare, puisqu'après m'avoir fui longtemps, voler vers moi qui la belle la pleure.
I'm sorry to be missing it, but actually it's quite beautiful watching it here on the terrace in the garden. And now I'm going to get on with the important thing of the day, which is deciding which takeaway we're going to get tonight. Good morning from a much happier South Africa today, because indeed yesterday we did find Percy much better after that first early morning phone call. He was pretty good all day and we had just such a nice day with him. So everyone in the house is feeling quite uplifted today. And I'm going to go and have my shower to go and see Percy again. You look delightful.
You think?
I think Percy will be wowed.
Yes, Percy has not contacted at all. And
This morning.
I did plead with him last night. Please send a little message just with a number out of 10 to tell us how you are.
He's probably exhausted, Mummy.
I know, and then there is the doctor's rounds and all that.
You mustn't get yourself worried every morning that you don't hear from him, because he's only phoned once.
I know, but it was a good beginning.
I know. It's bright, but it's a lot chillier here today, actually. We're just heading out to see Percy. Whilst we're visiting him, I'll leave you with another little update from the European side of things.
Hi everyone. Whilst everyone at the Chateau is listening to classical music, I've come to London and I went to see a musical. This is Don't Fire. And it was wonderful. I love being in London and I am so happy to be back. I'm just sad stuff's not here, but it is what it is. So I'm at the Sir John Soane's Museum and I've always wanted to go. I've never been able to go. I'm really excited that it's finally happening, and I'm here. It's just before 10 in the morning and I'm meeting Sarah and Steve here, so just looking out to see if I can spot them yet. It's very exciting. They happen to be in London at the same time, so we're going to see the museum together for the first time. Well, we arrived when it opened. We were the first people in, and it's very good that we arrived early because I would not want to be standing in that queue.
No, well done you. 10 o'clock, we were here.
I was here too. I was very surprised. I was 20 minutes early.
Yeah, the fact that you were waiting for us.
Yeah.
I think that's a new one.
That's good. Look, new me. I love the museum. I've never been before.
Such an extraordinary place. I mean, really a time capsule of the Regency time period.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just packed full of everything. I mean, as you say, it's sort of like walking through someone's mind, but I mean, the antiquities that are in there, you know, as long as we gloss over the fact of where they came from and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And
Problematic provenance.
But it's amazing to be able to see them in person and you know, in one collection. So, you know, for that we are appreciative.
It's time for our last visit of the day. You can make sure that Percy's all ready for the night. Say good night.
And look what I'm bringing him.
The little hot water bottle that you bring every day.
He gets cold for you.
We just got back from the hospital and that's the best we've seen Percy since before he was admitted to hospital. So it's just a huge relief today. We never want to get too excited because it's just constant ups and downs, but we're beginning to see that the general trend is going up. We've got into quite a routine here. Every day we spend 3 times a day with Percy, and then in the evening we have a takeaway, a different takeaway every night. Tonight is Chinese. I have Singapore noodles. That doesn't look very Chinese over there.
No, it's not actually. Crumb soy strips.
Crumb soy strips, yay, with broccoli at least.
With broccoli, so a little bit of greenery in there.
It's a vegan supper for him.
Yes, and you've got chow mein.
Sure.
It was a bit of a sort of pan-Asian restaurant that we went to. Cheers, everyone, to Percy. And I'm so glad to be here with the two of you.
To Percy.
To Percy.
Thank you, both of you, for coming and supporting both Percy and me. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining me for my roller coaster of a week in South Africa and for the Lalande's takeover of the Chateau Diaries this week. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my patrons and a reminder that this week's patron video is the Patron Day tours of the Marquis' apartment, with Andy describing her artwork in the Marquis' bedroom and Amory talking about the beautiful paneling that he made in the Marquis' sitting room. And if any of you would like some more chateau action this evening, over on Stephanie's Grand Tour of Europe is a tour of Vivian and Simon's spectacular Chateau de la Croix-Boisée, which many of you may know from the YouTube channel Chateau Love. And for those of you watching this in the premiere, it will be premiering straight after this video. Tonight I'd like to say a special thank you to the Dauphins and Dauphines of Lalande, Jarka Bukova, Kevin Boroughbridge, Brandon and John Michael, Paulina Calabro and Chelsea. Thank you so much for supporting the Chateau Diaries. Lots of love to absolutely all of you, and I can't wait to see you all again on Sunday.